Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me. I just thought I'd walk you through some intentional camera movements yesterday morning at the harbour. It was a very grey day yesterday, not raining so heavily that you couldn't go out with the camera, but it was raining. I was stood at the end of the harbour. I love the composition. I've taken loads here over the last year or two, just using the leading line out the harbour. So what you're looking at is me standing at the end here, looking straight down the direction the boats go to get out. So this is a line of yachts, and this is the pathway, if you like, out of the harbour for the boats. And what you're looking at is my breathing. So I breathe my camera up. I use breath to move my camera, because when you breathe, your body is moving, your rib cage is expanding, your diaphragm is pushing down, and I tap into that to capture these images. So I'm not moving fast, I'm not trying to move in a straight line to capture the masks. I'm using my breath to steady my body and to push the camera up or float the camera up, and then allow it to just drift and float back down. And the slight movement you see to the right isn't me deliberately moving the camera to the right. It is just the natural expansion and contraction of my body as I'm breathing. So more about that in a moment. Let's just have a look through some of the others that I took yesterday morning. Okay, so here we are when I first arrived. This is to the side of where we were before. The image that I showed you before, I was stood down here looking down this direction. So I've just come here. I'm kind of thinking there must be a composition here, but I'm not entirely sure how. I've got my camera set up. I'm using the iPhone actually, because I had a very long lens on Fuji and realised it was a bit of a mistake. So I just grabbed my iPhone and set that on 2 seconds to begin with, and just started seeing what happens on this focal length. Now, for me, it was a bit too wide. I wasn't really getting enough detail, and I wasn't moving enough either. You can see the reflection, you can see my movement because of the length of the mast's reflections, but for me, it's not strong enough. So my second attempt was this one. Now, I'm just got here and I'm not practicing, and I get a bit like we all do. You grab the camera, you see something. I liked the colour. There was a red boat moored up just here, and I was moving far too quickly, not with the camera, but just with my body and my energy. So I kind of got this wobbly effect going on. In some ways, I quite like it because it strengthens the colour, but it's not really what I was after. So if you're wondering, these images are straight out the camera. All we've got on the top here is a little group with the levels and a hue and saturation, just a tiny tweak. It's hardly, there you go, turn them off, put them back on, just to give a stronger effect, so it's more obvious what you're looking at. So this one was actually on a shorter shutter speed. So where I'd been actually on 4 seconds when I've now looked, this was on 2 seconds. I thought it would work better, but what it actually did was meant I was trying to move too quickly. So now I'm rushing, trying to get my movement in within the shutter time. Kind of like this one a little bit more, that I have expanded my shutter speed, so I'm at 4 seconds again. Like it a bit better, but there's not enough detail. I'm not moving too quickly, I'm just moving too far, and sometimes that's the problem. This time I haven't moved so far, trying to correct that, still not really working. Getting a bit better, I've moved a bit and I'm starting to like the colours coming in a bit more. So now I'm at the end of the so I've moved away from the platform I was standing on to the side. I've walked round to the end of the harbour for these, and I'm looking straight down. So this is more like, oh, that's the original. This is more this place. I'm stood at this location. I liked this. This was now getting what I wanted, that the boats looked like a drawing. So I'm just allowing the camera to just float up and fall on my breath. And you're seeing this, any sideways movement is just the natural expansion and contraction of my body as I'm moving. So this then was a long shutter speed but making less movement. So with this one, I've inhaled and clicked the shutter but not moved. So I've paused to capture the scene, then moved. And then this second image is the only difference, is exactly the same shutter speed, taken literally a nanosecond later. And the only difference is I haven't made such a pause before I've moved. I've moved first, allowed it to fall, and then paused, which is why the boat is almost completely intact. And it doesn't appear that there's so much movement. There's probably more movement, but less of a pause. Whereas on this one, in the pause, the longer pause, you're seeing the expansion and contraction of my body, my breathing in the image, which is what makes it look like I've moved slightly to the right. I hope that helps you a little bit understand what it is that I'm doing. It's embodied camera movement, but using the camera movement to try and paint the world as it feels. So I hope to meet you sometime. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.